All right, yesterday we had talked about uses for electromagnetic radiation. I hit that in 5th period as well, but they didn't get as far, so we'll get them caught up today. Today, before we leave all the color behind, before we break into the really hard stuff, there it is. The question I got is how color works. So how is it possible for color to be seen? How is it working? You go for it, go ahead.
Your eyes send out light, and the object that we're referring to with the color in your eyes send out these waves, and the object absorbs some of it while reflecting the others back out into your retina.
So my eyes send out waves.
That's something like that. Where it sends out waves on the thing.
I have an idea to take a shot, but I'm not going to sound like it. I end up.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna be up in space.
Take your socks
I'll
off.
put them on this morning.
Take your socks off.
I'm sorry.
Dude, I'm free of your shoes.
Okay. Can I borrow yours?
I don't.
Take your socks off.
I don't think they'll
All right.
fit.
Take your socks off.
What color's your folder?
Red.
Color's your folder.
Black.
I can't see it.
Black.
Still red, you can't see it.
Red.
Okay. Proof of point.
Oh, the light send out waves. Yeah.
Light.
Send out waves.
Everything's under a box.
Get this, guys. That air is the way. Yeah, Jamie.
Red.
So why is that one blue?
Light.
Because I don't want people guessing. Be like, it's this color.
Red.
Hey, I can't
I'm
see none if you do
I'm
that.
Red,
Red.
blue,
Blue. Black.
Red folder.
Red.
Probably blue.
No, that was blue. That was blue. That's red.
Red. You're back to red.
I think it's purple.
I can't see it.
You have the book. You have the book now.
What color is the folder?
He's holding up the card.
It's all in the book.
The book's in the car. Oh.
I almost had
Hey,
it.
she was kind of
Hey,
right
one more
though. She
time, I got
said
this.
purple, red and blue.
One more time. I got this.
Let me try again.
Yeah, one more time. Come on.
Get off me.
Please.
You get the
Just one more time. I got
No,
this.
come on. Let's give us one more chance.
No, it's
I was gonna have
you get the point.
No,
Okay.
I don't get it quite yet.
When you break this down and you look at it, how is color working? How are we seeing color? Well, you can't see color without
Light.
light.
I'm not good.
I don't know. It's still that color.
The light sends out waves, and the thing absorbs some of it and then reflects the others out into your eyes.
All right. So here's what's happening. Perfect example: red folder. You could do red hoodie. You could do. This is how every color works. Inside of our clothing there are what?
Pigment.
Pigments. Inside the pigments, they have certain abilities. What do?
Reflecting and absorbing.
They will absorb
Color.
certain colors. So here's what's happening. Why do you see the color red? Inside the folder are pigments
That absorbs everything but red.
that absorbs everything but red. So what color of light is coming from my light source?
White.
White. White is what colors?
Lack of
All the
pigments.
colors?
There's no pigments.
All the colors. So the white is all the colors. All the colors, white, comes and hits the folder. Inside the folder are pigments that absorb all the colors except for
That color.
red. And it gets transmitted out to us. Since the red gets transmitted out to us, these red photons come into our eyeballs inside the protein, bind to the protein, send the signals to the rod and cones and say, we see the color red. Thus,
Red.
you see red.
So how do people that are colorblind, how does that work?
So this is what happens for them, is the photon's the same and it binds to the protein, but there's a mutation in the protein. So since the protein is mutated, it still sends a signal, but it sends the wrong signal. So like if somebody sees red as green, then
So color.
right now they're getting the signal saying, hey, I see this color, but then their brain is processing saying, hey, it's green.
What if they're fully colorblind, like black and white?
And they just see shades.
So is that photon like, not like, it's just not bind to the proteins at all?
Oh, binds to proteins, it's just sending wrong signals.
And black is when there's so many of the what do you call them?
So what's black?
You can be talking to me.
When it absorbs all
It
the
absorbs all light.
All
That's a little gross.
colors, okay? So this is how color is working for us. This is very, very important to us.
And if you mix red and blue, you get purple.
Wow. Thanks so much.
It's not that color business.
I'm a pink.
Take your jacket off.
I really like pink.
I think indigo.
Salmon specific.
Salmon.
Yeah, okay. You got glasses on in a few minutes.
All right, so how color works?
Light.
Light travels out and hits the object. And the object pigments absorb certain wavelengths. Bless you. Oh, well. Bless you. The other wavelengths not absorbed are transmitted.
These glasses were supposed to make things better, but when it comes to your handwriting, they actually make things worse.
You just look like a nerd.
No, you just truly see what it looks like now.
Yeah, for the first time, my eyes are, I wouldn't say blessed, but it's something. It's one word.
Every single day I stepped into this class.
Back what I originally said, you can literally move closer. There's nobody
No,
in this
he's
section.
not saying that.
We're
The
not
glasses
saying
are-
we want to see it.
He says the issue is he can actually see now and he sees how terrible it is.
Poor Mr. Hall, look at them just bullying you.
Man.
Everybody, don't be a sucker.
I've yet to
That's
see
when it's
it.
bad.
It doesn't
You're
look
the-
That's when it's bad. Okay, that's when we've just reached an all-time level low because Nevaeh's sticking up for me.
She just knows there was a test run.
His A's are missed.
I wasn't being rude like
Actually,
that. I was just telling you. Don't shoot the
She's literally the person that looks at me and says, what did I get on the quiz? I said, I don't even know, you haven't even turned it in yet. Turns it in, what did I get on the quiz? I said, I don't know, I haven't even graded it. Grade it now. Are transmitted back out.
Pick your nose, eat it.
What?
That's so loud, bud.
Those photons
Absolutely.
bind to proteins.
How many poor freshmen am I told to take chemistry?
It's on your side right
They have no idea what's coming.
Bind the protein and send signals of the colors we see.
We can tell all my friends. We'll have Jack and them in here next year.
Again, conceptual part. Understanding what's happening. Very important. Give you a second, make sure you got it down. If you got a question, you need to ask, by the way.
Mine's pretty easy.
If I could rate it, I'd do.
You ever have a class for chemistry one year and you're like, yeah, these guys are done for?
I've actually,
I'm running out of room.
running out of room.
Or is this year the closest you come to that?
I'm on my way.
You guys ain't done for. Your problem,
Where's it going?
your problem is nobody's taught you how to explain stuff. So
The capital of the USA.
I'm having to write it out a lot more and make sure you guys get like explaining. So like, I'll be honest with you, you guys are the first group of chemistry kids I've ever gave like that 6-question explanation, conceptual question worksheet I gave you. First one I ever go to. Great, just for you.
So, I'm running out of room.
The rankings go there.
What are you saying? We're antisocial.
No, what I'm saying is you suck at explaining things.
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
I ain't no point in lying about it.
Right thing, that's what I did.
Yeah.
You asked me how Edmonton blew a 2-goal lead last night. I would probably just say, well, how less of it.
You asked me to explain how the Rangers was able to beat the Leaves.
Yeah.
Any questions here? All jokes
They won
aside.
their frozen frenzy game last night. You know who didn't win their frozen frenzy game last night? The Oilers. You know why? Because we were up 2-0 at the start of the third period. We let the Canes score 2 goals, takes us into overtime, they beat us.
And this guy's talking about, you want Skinner for Shesterkin?
I want to. Dude, it's a great trade for you.
No, it's not.
All right, anyway,
Did he lose the greatest goal?
no question.
And you get like the worst. So
Not happening.
I do feel we
Let's turn the corner then.
Skinner did have a picture to say last night.
I don't like
He
corners.
saved one. He got flipped around on his back.
Okay,
And then he just set up.
I have a question for you.
Saved the puck back of his head.
What
Like the Undertaker.
No.
And the puck goes.
is light?
That's what it was going, oh my God, it's towers.
Electromagnetic radiation.
Electromagnetic radiation. So what does it exist as? Does
Light is a
everything
wave.
exist as a wave or a particle?
Both.
So explain to me as both.
Okay.
Alex both?
So, it exists
Somewhere.
as a wave due to the double slit test
Experiment.
What?
experiment. Now, Kaden, take it away. What is the double slit experiment?
Give me a second.
The double split experiment is where
Are you kidding?
Don't listen to him. He's flipping through his notes.
there's it's called like the instructive.
Wave particle duality. I found it.
Wave particle duality is
You're
showing
welcome.
that light is both a wave and a particle. But anyways, it's like the constructive bands of light and the deconstructive bands of light. And the deconstructive gives out the bands of dark, and the constructive give out the bands of light.
Finally
Gives
found
you
it.
the
Jeez.
instructive things where you can see it's a wave.
Alright, here's the point. So, like I said, we struggle with the explanation part. We're kind of there, but we're not there.
I wrote it a lot better whenever I actually did the test.
Yeah.
And it's a particle because one day Albert Einstein decided to put a
Albert.
fork in a microwave. And he was like, oh, explosion, I guess this is a particle.
It's a particle because if you shine light at metal, then it will give off electrons whenever it reaches a certain radiation, and those electrons are a negatively charged subatomic particle, and particles interact with particles.
Alright, so here's the thing. First off, you have to be able to do this. Light is a wave and a particle.
Yeah.
It exists in wave-particle duality. It is a wave due to, we know it's a wave due to the double slit experiment, where light traveled through 2 slits, and on the back wall gave an interference pattern from the constructive interference, which is the same points on the wave building each other up, and the destructive interference, that is opposite points on the waves that canceled each other out. So the constructive and destructive interference created an interference pattern where we have bands of light and no light, which is a property of waves.
I really want to be in the room with the first person that ever said that sentence so I can smack him.
Then we know that light is a particle due to the photoelectric effect. The photoelectric effect explains how taking a source of electromagnetic radiation shining on a piece of metal at a certain frequency will yeet electrons off. And electrons are subatomic particles, therefore, we know that they has to be a particle in light. Because particles interfere with particles and waves interfere with waves. Got me?
I'm sorry, it's just not going how to say.
I want to say something to you, okay? Because Mr. Hall loves you very dearly.
Say it.
How many times have I asked that question and how many times have I explained that question in the last 2 weeks?
A lot.
Quite a bit.
On here,
I've been here for 2 weeks. So that's the first time.
For you. I've been doing videos though and sending them.
You have.
I know one.
Welcome back, by the way.
Videos.
Thank you.
Not expecting you to take the quiz on Friday.
Also,
Right? She's literally been gone for 10 days.
I gotta make up a second quiz.
You have it.
She should have known.
Is it me?
That's right. It doesn't matter if you're on your deathbed.
You missed 3 days.
Okay, you should have.
I'm 5.
Okay, yeah, next time put
Three.
you on Zoom.
3.
You came when my wife was here, when I told you I wouldn't be here, and then you missed when I was here. You came for the wrong hall.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what light is. I have a question for you.
Say it. No. Say it.
You know Mr. Hall loves you, right?
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, but go on.
We think about it.
What is an electron?
I thought you was gonna say what is light again, dude.
It's a lie.
What's an electron?
Something.
It's
Negatively
a
charged.
negatively charged
Charged.
subatomic particle.
It's a negatively charged subatomic particle.
Yeah.
Ms. Stewart, report to the office, please.
Okay.
Ms. Stewart, report to the office, please.
Negatively charged
This is a
subatomic particle.
reminder that all freshmen need to have their permission slips for the Garrett trip. For,
Turn it down.
the trip is on
You don't wanna hear it.
So, negatively charged subatomic particle.
Yeah.
Well, there was a famous scientist.
Nuh-uh.
Alberto Einstein.
No, he's French.
What is Louis Triangle?
Louis de Broglie.
It's not a D, bro.
Louis de Broglie had a question. If electromagnetic radiation exists in wave-particle duality,
Well, you're kind of phrasing this like
Why?
we're asking him. Like you put his name first, so they're like, Louis
Not-
de Broglie.
electron.
The electrons are just particles.
So then everything got interesting. Here's what Louis de Broglie did.
Really?
Louis de Broglie took a piece of metal.
Somebody gotta fix that.
I want to say the piece of metal was a small piece of aluminum foil. I could be wrong on the foil, what foil it was, but it was a small piece of foil. And he sent X-rays through. And he got something that he would not expect to have seen.
Did it explode?
Because what is an electron? Negatively charged subatomic particle.
Yeah.
Since it's a negatively charged subatomic particle, you would expect it to act as it was a particle. But next thing you know, he gets this big area covered in on the back of a detector, meaning
Interference
that
pattern.
it's not a particle. So then life got really weird.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Hall made a promise to you.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe Louis shouldn't have been asking so much questions and just
Yeah.
let him off.
It's time for Mr. Hall to fulfill the promise.
Scientists just need to let stuff be.
Shut up.
Quit asking questions.
We're good now.
Hey, yo, that's
There's a very famous experiment.
Was it Albert Einstein?
Let's go.
I don't understand why you write these like that.
Get off.
How did we know this one?
Oh, so you send in the
Double slit experiment. Now,
We know this one.
double slit experiment, you know the setup. But things changed today. I've been dying to get to this.
Oh God, he's screaming, he's excited.
Now,
Scary.
from the double slit experiment, everything you did before was a light source. No longer. Now, we are going to go from a double slit experiment with a light source into an electron source.
Now, how do they even see?
Yeah, how do you see an electron source?
Yeah, how do you
Listen, I put the E, I know I messed it up, I fixed it, I just didn't erase it. You can fix it, okay? I got like these two jokers in the back that want to keep bullying me over my handwriting.
Oh my God, you're a bunch of kids that's bullying me. Please stop. Sorry, that was so mean.
That was a very good impression.
I could really care less.
I could care less.
Why do you stop?
I'm sorry.
Hey, David's having a great time, everybody. I want y'all to know that. He's having a wonderful time. I'm so happy David's having a wonderful time. Hey, David, you watch those videos? Take those notes? You hadn't came ask me any questions. Wonder how Friday's
I
going to
never had
go.
need to ask
Watch
a
your
question.
back.
What's your bail now?
We're gonna have the normal test and your test is gonna be like 4 pages long.
So, double slit experiment.
Make that slit, buddy. Yeah.
2 slits. So there's 2 slits
Go
on the
wild.
wall. Now, on the back, there's a detector. Now here's the thing. What is an electron?
That's a negatively charged subatomic particle.
Negatively charged subatomic particle. So it should act as a particle. So this would be the equivalent if I had, like, I took 2 spots out of this wall and I started sending bowling balls into the room.
That's not right.
The bowling ball is going to hit the wall at some spot, not come through. Then if it comes through the slit, it's going to make, on the back, it's going to go through. What type of pattern should I see on the back wall?
Just some dots right there where the holes are.
So, some spots right here in the hole, right?
Yeah, right there, right there.
This is what we should see, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know, scientists agreed with you. They looked and they said, we should see 2 slits, we should have no problem with that. But, here's what they did.
Tested. What's that? Because there's the 2 on somewhere.
Here's what they saw. You ready?
There's gonna be like 5 of them.
So they send the electrons through.
Yeah.
See, I don't believe you. See, that's the thing. The trust is gone.
I understand.
You talk about all these traps, how you're always going to trap us, and then you want us to believe this nonsense.
Now,
It's called foolery.
they send the electrons through, and what do they get? What is this called?
An interference pattern.
An interference pattern. What is an interference pattern? A property of
Waves.
waves. We got a problem.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I
The
sure would
electrons
say
just
so.
bounced off the wall when they were coming through the hole. Send them different.
We have a major issue.
Yeah.
We got an interference pattern. What's an electron again?
Sorry.
Negatively charged subatomic particle. So it should act as a
Particle.
So scientists are smart because they looked and they said, hang on a second.
Not really.
Man, they got a lot of questions.
We've been sending tons of electrons through this thing. We've been sending them all at once. So here's what's been happening. Because we're sending so many electrons, those electrons are interfering with each other. So what we need to do
Send 2.
is only send one at a time.
No.
Now, we send one at a time. And you could probably predict what's going to happen. This is the moment you predict.
Well, they're sending them through crookedly.
I think it's the scientist's fault.
So we got the 2 bands that fits as a particle, right? So now we got to, hey!
Oh, I have a theory.
What is that again?
An interference pattern.
What's the interference pattern of property of?
Waves.
Waves.
But I see it.
I think to be short, so that if teachers will make sure there's something down.
So interference patterns are property of waves, but electrons are,
Particle.
so we should be getting
2 slits.
2 slits, but we're getting interference pattern.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Tell me about it.
I have a theory as to why.
Okay.
I feel like, okay, electrons, with your bowling ball example, the bowling ball only hits the back wall because you're rolling a bowling ball through the 2 slits. But what if electron can't be sent out that way? They have to be sent out in the form of a wave, which would leave an interference pattern on the back.
Aren't you the one that says the electrons can't sit still? Electrons can't stay in a straight line the whole time.
Because it's not
They're
like,
teenagers, I can't stay in a straight line.
you can't throw electrons on them like darts. You can't just pick up an electron and throw it, so they have to be sent out in the form of a wave.
They're going,
All right.
they get happy and excited.
This is weird.
Uh-huh.
Because what should you see? You should see 2 bands, but what are we seeing?
A bunch of them.
Interference pattern. So scientists got smart.
Oh no.
Scientists decided they wanted to see
Oh God.
what was going on. So how else can we do this? Is they went to one of the slits
Covered it.
and they set a detector here.
Oh.
What was the purpose of the detector? It was to determine which slit the electron was going through. Because if it goes through this slit, then
The detector will go up?
we know it went through this slit and it should end up here. But if not, we know it went through that slit.
Yeah.
So then whenever they did this, what do you think happened?
The detector went off or something good?
Going back to normal. Oh.
Oh.
And we get a pattern for what?
Particles.
But why?
Once we set the detector.
But why?
So we went from sending one electron at a time to where it can't interfere with itself, to where we decide to set a detector. So if the detector is present, it acts as a particle, as it's supposed to. But if the detector's not present, it acts like what? A wave. Here's the weird part behind it.
What's the detector have to do with anything?
The text to see how it's acting.
The detector,
I know, but why did it change just because we put a little detector there?
because it knows it's being watched now, it's got to be more sneaky. You can't just go around being a wave, and then people
Here's
get
the thing.
suspicious.
Does this make any sense? No.
No.
Scientists will admit to you it makes no sense. This idea was researched and came up with, and something freaky and weird happened.
It's like me, bro.
Okay. Electrons have wave particle duality. Here's the freakiest part of all. If you leave the electron alone, it acts as you need it to act. If I'm doing a research and I need electrons to be particles, if I leave them alone, guess how they'll be? Particles. If you need them to be waves in your research project, and you just leave them alone, guess what they'll be? Waves. Scientists did this experiment time and time and time and time and time again because they were like, something has to be wrong, but it wasn't. This right here took us into the quantum world. So like, Ant-Man, quantum mania? Shrink down like we're small?
Possible now.
Absolutely, man.
I'm just saying, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah,
The electron's gonna act as it's supposed to act. Here's the question for you. What is an electron?
is a
Electrons
negatively charged.
are waves and particles. This is the freaky part of it. It's both. How do you know it's both? What proved wave-particle duality for the electron?
The double slit experiment.
How did the double slit experiment prove wave-particle duality for the electron?
Because without the detector, it was going into the interference pattern, and it was giving you bands of light and relative waves, and then with the detector, it was giving you the two that it was supposed to, like just the two bands. And it was particles.
Bingo. So the big thing is with double slit experiment is when it's not being detected, what's it give on the back wall?
The interference pattern.
Interference pattern. Since we have this interference pattern, that's a property of waves. It has to be a wave. Now here's the craziest part of all. It's even mathematically, and there are tons of people that got involved with this. If you're walking out of here and you're looking and saying, this really makes no sense, trust me, I understand. The scientists that actually came up and did the mathematical part of this quit quantum physics and went and became a botanist. I mean, who would ever quit doing with physics to do that? Mathematically, the electron that comes out, here's what happens. It goes through this slit. It goes through this slit. It actually hits the wall here. It actually stays in the detector. It comes here and hits here. It's back over here. It's over there. It's also over in that room.
It's just bouncing off the walls. Like,
There's tons of different things that it does, and it all exists at one state in time. And I look so forward to picking this up tomorrow with you and explaining it more in depth. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day.